This is my review for Unknown9 Awakening. I want to preface this by stating that I did receive a review copy from the publisher, so shout out to bandainamco. Let's get into it. First off, I've heard a lot of talk in the community about people saying this game kind of looks like a PS3 game, and I see it. You know, visually, it's nothing that's like gonna blow your mind, but I don't think it's horribly either. I think the models seem a little bit stiff at times when it comes to cutscenes, but overall, it's not bad. I like what they did with the level design. I think the levels themselves actually look really good, especially when it comes to lighting. I think the developers did an awesome job. Yeah, that was like one of my biggest things that I immediately noticed off the rip was just like the levels look really great. There's a lot of cool, interesting environments. I mean, the whole premise is you're kind of traveling to these different locations, and you can definitely feel that when you're playing it. So I think they did a great job visually. Again, I do see the notion of it feeling like a PS3 game as far as visuals go, but I think that's kind of part of the charm for this game. It's not a super AAA game, it is a AA game, and you feel that when you're looking at it. I think the biggest thing for me in any game that I really judge is the combat and the gameplay, and I think this game does a really good job gameplay wise. I actually enjoyed the combat. Yes, there wasn't like a whole big like list of combos you can do, but it still found a way to be fun. You know, I would like step into an enemy and then make them attack an explosive, and then I would immediately use the shroud ability, and then I would just like sneak around people and just like sneak attack everybody. Honestly, that was like my favorite way to play the game, was just to move around the environment stealthily, and if that didn't work out, I'd just hop right into combat mode. And it wasn't super difficult. I played this game on normal difficulty, and I didn't feel like I had to try any battles more than once. I think I died like a handful of times, but nothing ever really felt unfair in the game. And the abilities were still pretty cool. You know, you step into abilities, you can control them, and it was really cool to like make them attack their own, like their peoples, and that was fun. And then using the shroud ability in the middle combat was awesome, because the enemies would be like, yo, where did they go? And then you would just sneak around them and sneak attack them, which is really dope. You find these like gnosis points throughout the game, and you can use these points to upgrade your abilities with different skill trees, be that stealth, combat, and the umbral trees, which is pretty satisfying. You know, there's some that allow you to stay in the shroud a little bit longer. So there's like one that allows you to dodge multiple times. So there are options for you to kind of make the game feel a little bit more entertaining. I utilized all of it. You know, outside of the combat, you know, the platforming was pretty basic. It wasn't anything that was mind-blowing, but I don't think that was like the whole point of the game. You know, it's a story focused game essentially, so you're really just trying to move it along, and you know, you got these cutscenes that are all really well like acted and animated, so you just kind of keep moving through the stealth and the combat in it. And so platforming kind of like felt like a little bit of a side piece to it, and I was okay with that, because for what it wasn't anything that I was like, oh, this is super horrible. It got the job done, got me to where I wanted to be, got me to those gnosis points so I can upgrade my character a little bit, so that was good to have in the game. Big part of the gameplay that I thought was super interesting was that like Haruna, who's the main character of the game, actually doesn't have any weapons. Like, she's just fisticuffing everybody, which at first I was like, this is kind of an interesting choice, but then it just made me feel like more badass the later I got into the game, because some of these enemies you're fighting are like big hulking enemies with like a ton of equipment on them, and you're just whipping the shit out of them. So that was pretty cool. I thought the story for this game was pretty good. I definitely appreciate that it wasn't a super long game. I talked in a previous review about how like there just needs to be like a sweet chunk of time that you're in a game, and I think I clocked in at probably 10-12 hours for this, which I think is longer than like was supposed to be, but I definitely took my time. And yeah, it didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome. There's a cool little twist at the end that I'm obviously not gonna spoil, and I was kind of like, really, this is how you gonna do it? But it was cool. You know, it definitely made the game more satisfying, because outside of that, the story's pretty straightforward. You know, you play as Haruna. There's like an event that happens early on in the game which sets forth a series of events of the character just trying to like get revenge, and you know, you kind of learn more about her history and stuff like that throughout the story. It was really great. I think they did a good job with the story. I definitely was impressed, and like I said, I appreciated mostly that it just didn't last forever, you know? Yeah, guys, so overall, I think this game was pretty good. The combat was fun. I preferred to play it a little bit stealthily, and then when things went wrong, I would like hit them with the combat, and it was great using the shroud abilities because it really made stealth feel like not as mandatory or punishing, because you could just quickly just bounce out of combat and kind of go back into hiding and stealth attack enemies. The story was fun, wasn't too long. I appreciated that the most. But it was still good. I liked the little plot twist at the end, and I think they did a great job with the cutscenes and the animations, and the voice acting was actually really good in the game as well. So yeah, overall this game it's pretty good. I think I'm a little bit higher on it than a lot of other people are, and that's okay. Not every game is for everyone, but for a AA game, I think they did a pretty awesome job with it. So let me know what you guys think. Yeah, let's talk about it. Peace.